Hey friends, Justin here. I want to thank you for tuning into Minimalism Chapter 3. Today we're going to talk about my personal recipe. So far in our series, we've talked about the basics. We do know that minimalism is not a sacrifice, but rather a focus on our happiness. Um, by this point, we all have picked a color scheme for our wardrobe. We're going to streamline our wardrobe into staple pieces, having a focus on color like black or white or brown. Um, Helps you kind of focus in on pieces that you need, that you can use fewer pieces to mix and match. So we've covered those basics and we're ready to go on that front. Today I'm going to get a little bit more personal and tell you about the tools that I have. I took a little bit of an assessment of the tools that I'm working with, kind of looked at my toolbox. And that was one of the steps that we also talked about, taking inventory, taking stock of what you have. Um, and so today, this is my personal recipe or toolbox for a holistic minimalist lifestyle. All those syllables. All right, let's jump right in. So, one of my favorites, the first tool that I use, or one of the first ones I'll talk about today, um, are audiobooks. Audiobooks on YouTube. Then there's another website that I found called Easy Audiobooks for the Soul, and I found a lot of the fantasy series and a lot of the books that I'm interested in to be listed there. Um, if we are scaling back and trying to find a little bit more of a holistic lifestyle, enriching your mind, taking your focus off of, for lack of a better word, junk, politics constantly, video game type content, salacious, things to keep your focus on television. Find some series, that captivate you. Through listening to audiobooks online, I've listened to different renditions of The Lord of the Rings, Michael Crichton's work, Jurassic Park, Sphere, those kinds of books. I've found this delicious mystery series, the the Polifax series, that you can find on YouTube absolutely free. Um, I could go on and on and on. I must have read or listened to 50 books this year. So I'm a more well-read person as result of some of the choices that I've made to scale back. But don't underestimate YouTube and the power it has, not just for short sound bites and clips, but to really enrich your mind. There are, things that I know. I know different things about the British dialect from listening to The Lord of the Rings, regional dialects that I never would have known. I'm well read on several authors that, I never would have experienced otherwise. So audiobooks, if you have not, gotten into them or explored them as a passion, try to at least. It has, found me countless hours of joy and peace, and it's absolutely free. Number two, and this is for my hot drink lovers. A lot of us spend a whole lot of time at Starbucks, and I think with the discussion about um, minimalism coming about, a lot of us are ready to cut the cord. A lot of us are ready to say, you know what? I'm realizing that I'm consuming, as good as this is just, it's got to go. And so, this may sound like sacrilege to a lot of my coffee drinkers, but tea. Tea is fantastic. The variety of teas that are available are astounding, and it is infinitely less expensive than buying um, coffee. You can prepare tea much more easily. You don't need a coffee maker or anything like that to prepare tea. You can do it in a kettle or a saucer or whatever you need to do to just boil the water. in the microwave, whatever you need to do. You've got, spiced teas versus floral teas, versus your traditional Earl Greys and breakfast teas and whatnot, versus mixes of teas. I love to mix, two different kinds of fruity teas to give me a really sweet, lemonade-y summer drink taste. And then sometimes I'll do a really, really spicy drink with cardamom in it, um, when it's cold outside to really, really warm me up. And so there's an incredible variety to teas. If you want to become a tea connoisseur, that will score you some class points as well. So learn to love and learn to explore different types of teas. Just because the flat teas that you have tried traditionally in the past or that have been available to you for free haven't been, explosive, give it a try. One of my favorites is uh, Bengal spice tea is a flavor that I've found. And hey so, friends, Justin here. One second, one of my videos has started. But yeah, Bengal spice is one of my favorites. It's a cinnamony, cardamom-y flavor that just warms you from head to toe. So tea is a very inexpensive alternative to get your hot tea fix. And if you're looking to cut that cord and recommit to something, tea is a great way to go. Number 3 is one that I think a lot of us are doing and have been doing for many years. I think a lot of us are bundling it or coupling it still with traditional cable, which we have to get rid of. And that is to stream shows and movies. So that's kind of going along with our audiobooks. Netflix, the very recent Disney Plus, and then Hulu. These are 3 great, as well as the internet, because you can stream a lot of things on the internet. But, those 3 major streaming platforms are wonderful at their price points. I have often thought, we did an assessment at work one day when I was doing my onboarding, and they asked, because it was about branding, what brands do you appreciate? What brands do you have a good feeling about? And Netflix was one of the brands for me, because I've always felt like I got the value for the cost. And so I've always appreciated them for not price gouging and making their product available for me. Netflix, Disney Plus at half the price of Netflix is a great investment. You can find countless hours of entertainment and nostalgia, learn things and educate yourself, and it will help you focus on yourself and, cut costs from traditional cable, kind of cutting the cord. The 4th one here is rather a big one, and it's very personal for me. I started working for Delta Airlines about a year ago, a little over a year ago. And what's baked into this type of career, not only did it fit the skill set that I had built up, but what's built into that is the ability to fly at no cost. It's not something everyone currently has access to, but you can start to think, what are the things that I can do in my life? What kind of career can I gravitate towards that has the different benefits that I need? If financial freedom is a benefit or a goal of yours, getting with a company that has a 401k plan that matches is one of the best benefits, one of the, no-brainers for financial freedom. Find a company that not only fits your skill set, but has a benefit that you can use to either reduce your footprint, your financial footprint, or reduce a stress footprint in terms of planning for retirement, if it has some sort of built-in plan that will help you. Now, obviously, you will want your own separate, let's say, Roth IRA, savings account, and things like that on the side. But a company match, and the company that I work for right now does match my 401k investments. That's a wonderful thing. That's, an investment that's working for you without you having to really put anything, into it other than, your investment. So look at your career, ask yourself, is it serving more than one purpose in my life? If it's just the paycheck, um, I'm afraid, my dear, that's not going to do it. Um, we've got to use the experience that we have and reach out and apply for companies that fit at least two needs in our life, whether it's the paycheck and then a lift towards financial independence, or in my case, the benefit that I found was non-revenue travel, so that I could still travel and, kind of live a nomadic lifestyle, with in the bounds of the financial minimalist lifestyle that I'm hoping to achieve. The last one is a really fun one, number 5, and it's one that a lot of us also already do, and that's learning to love the thrift store. I am a thrift store addict. At this point, because I've been so started at Buffalo Exchange. I lived in Los Angeles for almost 20 years. So um, the idea of buying secondhand, I really had to retrain my thinking over the years, from material boy all the way to where I am now. And I started Buffalo Exchange years and years ago, and at this point in my life, I refuse to buy new if an alternative exists. If I've got a beautiful, beautiful coat I bought at a thrift store last year. I think the Salvation Army for about $8. Beautiful knee length coat. I mean, you could hobnob in the streets of Manhattan easily in this coat. Um, Brand new, it had to cost $150, $200. Learn to love the thrift store. They not only have clothes, they have home decor, they've got furniture, all kinds of things. I haven't seen, in the thrift store where the furniture is really worth the cost that they have, but they've got artwork, they've got purses, bags, they've got so many different things that you can use, calculators. Um, all kinds of things that you can use. You can have a really fun time in a thrift store and really invest in yourself. If you're trying to scale down and step back, but yet you have a love for shopping, and you know that that's an itch that you're going to want to scratch, find a love for thrifting, whether it is sidewalk sales, garage sales, Salvation Army, but find a hand-me-down store in your community. You will not regret it. So those are 5 of the tools that I've identified in my life that I'm going to hit the ground running on my minimalist journey. Um, Leave me a comment below. Let me know what tools you have, what things that you find useful. Um, what things are you struggling with? I'd love to give you some tips and pointers on how I overcame, the way that I got to this career, that affords me the free travel, is I overshot the runway in my 20s. So I moved to Los Angeles from Detroit in my early 20s, worked for a lot of reputable companies, got a lot of good experience, did a lot of travel through business um, in my 20s. And so now, in my 30s, heading towards my mid 30s, I'm taking a little bit easier in Dallas at a Fortune 100 company, maybe a Fortune 50 company, Delta Airlines, but making a choice for myself. in terms of the career that I have. If you're struggling with that, with sovereignty and choice in career, um, leave me a comment and we'll figure out a way to connect and talk about that and how you can empower yourself to get out of that situation. But definitely take stock of the tools that you have. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you like these videos, let me know, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.